Hey up and a very warm welcome back to Grim Sim Labs. Hope you're all having a great day, a great week, a great month, or great whatever. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me. I hope you're all doing well, man. Hey up. I've come back to the warehouse. I've got a full load of wood and all sorts of stuff that... oh dear me. Hello. How are you all? Hope you're all doing well, man. I am back. I am recording another video on the same night as the last three. So get your comments in, man. I've talked about loads of stuff in the last few episodes, and I'm going to talk a little bit about something today, but wanted more comments. I want to read more comments, man. Let's go. On the journey to getting to tier 5, okay, that nearly broke. Let's get rid of that chair, shall we? Lovely stuff. Let's make sure that doesn't break on us. Nice. And stick that here. I'll do. There we go. We'll put it there. Sweet. I never did turn them things around. Well, I don't think we need to now. I think we're too near to the end game to worry about it too much. I'm perfectly happy going around knowing where stuff is roughly, he says, very roughly. Yeah, man, I hope you're doing well. I hope you haven't minded the last few episodes where I've been ranting about whatever enters my mind at whatever time. It's been a lot of fun, and today I'm gonna rant about work. That sounds boring. I very rarely talk about work. There's a whole part of me that's like, I should really keep that, like, I've got to be careful. You know, I do work for a local authority, and I don't want anyone using it against me for the stuff that I say on my YouTube channel, you know? But I'm also, like, why can't I share my achievements with you guys? Like, surely that's interesting stuff that you guys want to hear. And so I thought, you know what? I'm going to take a bit of time today to talk about my work career. Because why not? And it's not something I've really talked about on the channel. So I thought, do something a bit different. I'm just laying them out so I can see all the numbers nice and clearly. Lovely, so 74, 75, 76, 77. Nope. No 77, that'll be the half-empty box, something like that probably. 79 and 78, sweet. And room for 77 once we get that one full. Brilliant. Perfect, which isn't going to be now, unfortunately. We can put you here, can we? No, we can't. Okay, we'll carry it back and forth. That's absolutely fine. Right, let's get a load of these planks sorted. They've all fallen over. All that sorting we did. And I did a bit of sorting off camera as well at the house, ready to pick up, so we're not wasting time here. My work career. I started working when I was... Well, no, before I was 16. First of all, I had a paper round. How many of us had paper round when we were kids, man? I used to deliver papers to John Prescott's house. He was on a Sunday. I used to deliver multiple papers. There was like John Prescott was a local politician. He lived in the whole area. Well, he wasn't just a local politician, actually. He was the deputy prime minister when Tony Blair was in power. And so he was kind of a big deal. He was, you know, the country's leader at one point. And the whole thing with Tony Blair and John Prescott was Blair was like the sort of schooled professional, and Prescott was just your common man, really. And that's how the sort of worked. You know, Prescott was the type of bloke. He was in the Navy for a long time. He actually worked with my granddad, which I did mention to him once when he came to give me some money for Christmas. I did paper round for many years, man. It was as soon as I could sort of get one, really, I started doing paper rounds. I also did other random jobs. I'd deliver leaflets. I think me dad's cousin owned a company, and he wanted us to post leaflets out, and we got like 2p a leaflet, I think it was. It was nothing, you know. We used to spend hours delivering thousands upon thousands of leaflets to various homes in the area to try and get a little bit of extra cash. But, you know, 50 quid back then, that was big money, and you'd spend days earning for that, you know. But you could buy stuff with that. You could buy video games, or, you know, a VCR player, which I bought for myself. You know, one of the first things I bought. I actually bought that with 0% interest. That was my mum and dad, I guess, trying to teach me about that whole system. Something I don't use in my real life now, because I just find it dangerous. If you buy things on finance or 0% interest and stuff like that, it's still money you end up spending. You just don't have it right now. So I'm very hesitant to use it nowadays. I don't like the idea. My money's tight as it is. It really is. I've been struggling for the last few years, but ever since I left my my other job, where I was doing a lot of overtime, basically. Here we go. Let's head into here and see what orders we've got. So yeah, so I used to deliver leaflets. Here we go. This ain't bad, man. This ain't bad at all. Rare doors. Yeah, let's just check none of the other wealthies need rare doors. Sweet, no they don't. Let's get rid of some rare doors then. We'll get rid of a couple of extra rare doors. Sweet, let's do it, and let's go here, large capacity. Why not? It's 20 quid, man. It's 20 quid. Let's just not stress. Big kitchen cabinet. I think that's over here. I remember seeing one over here. It's rare. Kitchen small wall display. Big kitchen cabinet. Boom. Let's go. Isn't it weird how unuseful is that I remember where stuff like that is anyway? I'm just thinking about all the stuff I keep in my head, and that's part of the information I've stored in my head, where things are in this virtual world. I'm sure you're the same though. You probably went, yes, it's there, Grim, it's there. Here we go. Let's give him a couple of extra doors, make a bit of extra cash, all that good stuff. It's a wealthy one, so that's all fine by me. I just realised we hadn't done the contracts today, so thought we'd get a couple done before going back, and you'll see that I have sorted out the wood, so it shouldn't take too long to get all the stuff back, and then we can move on to our next job. And speaking of jobs, yes, so I used to deliver leaflets and papers. Prescott's house. There was a lady who lived down. Where did she live? She lived down the road, and I used to do my paper round on roller skates. So roller skates were really good. My mum used to work in the ice arena, so I'm assuming she got a staff discount. So we always had like a pair of roller skates in the house. I used to play ice hockey when I was a young kid because, well, when your mum was going to work, you used to go with her because you was too young to stay in by yourself. My dad might have gone to watch the rugby, you know. So I'd go to work with my mum. The amount of days I spent, actually sat days, going to work with my mum, and I'd go ice skating, and she'd do a shift basically. Yeah, that's what we used to do all the time. And then when I got a little bit older, because there was a cinema next door, I'd be like, "Can I go to cinema?" And she let me go to the cinema by myself when I turned 12. And I went to go see the movie Volcano with Tommy Lee Jones. Final payment $806. Nice. Loads of money. Let's go. Let's have a look at these. I went to go see Volcano because I was big into sort of natural disasters and natural disasters movies. So I was like, yeah, we'll go see that. Premium door. Don't want to get rid of too many of them, but we can absolutely get rid of one for the money it's asking for. Well, actually, if we got rid of two, it's not going to hurt us. Yeah, let's do it. Let's get rid of two. No, let's get rid of one. I'll have two. I'll have two left over. That's fine. Just in case we get a big order that needs two premium doors. Lovely. Sweet. Done. Banging. Extra 150 quid. Let's go. So I always saw my mum working, actually. That's probably where my work ethic comes from, because my mum's a bloody hero. She was I mean, Dad's a hero as well. They both had like a lot going on. It's only poor, so I don't really want to do it. Quality clients, let's go. Bosch, Bosch, Bosch. You know what? We can do this. We can do this. We've got loads of common chairs now, which is good. Small round ceiling light. Did I accept it? Did I get that? I've got it now. Common chairs. I could get rid of a couple of extras. 78. 78 is here. Sweet. Bosch. And put you away here. There we go. Bosch, Bosch. Nice. And a chair, two common chairs. One there. One there. And a small round ceiling light. I don't really want to get rid of too many common chairs because they are useful. There we go. It is a quality order. We might as well get some money for it, eh? And small round ceiling light. Let's have a gander. Let's have a gander. I think it's going to be over here, actually. So yeah, my mum's a real hero. She worked from like and everyone. I think a lot of people find the mum a hero, to be honest with you. But my mum is the best. She had what? Small round ceiling light. That's the one. There we go. She had a job. She had us as a younger lady, and then she got a job working in the reception at the ice arena, and then she worked in the shop at the ice arena, and then she carried on working to be a duty manager, and eventually ended up as a manager of the place. And It's really inspirational, man. Even when she retired, they sort of wanted to keep her on. So they made a new casual rate for her so that she was still able to carry on, which is amazing. Go my mum. You rock my mum. She really is one of my working heroes, like, genuinely. Right, we've made a grand. Let's go back and get this stuff sorted out. And I do tell her that. You know, I rang her up once. I remember I was doing a quiz in Nottingham. And I sent her a email because I was in a pub and the question was like, who's your hero or something like that, and I was like, my mum's my hero. And she was like, she got real emotional. She was like, that was really nice to say. And I was like, well, it's true, so why not say it? That's my autistic mind. Sweet, let's go. Bosch and Bosch. We've only got a couple of hours left of daylight, but we don't have to finish this job today. It's absolutely fine if we don't. We could have finished it if we'd smashed everything up and all that sort of stuff and didn't keep all the wood, for sure, because we did say we was going to do that initially. But when I saw the amount of wood that we could get, I was like, you know what, let's do this properly. Here we go, sweet. Let's get these in. We should only be one load, I think. Well, it really should be. We'll see. I want to get these in to give myself a nice base down that side for the wooden planks that we're about to stick in. And there's a lot to stick in, so let's get them ready to rock. Nice, and can we go this way with it? Yes, it will let me do it somewhere. Just where, though? Oh, there we go. It clicked again. There we go. Boom. That'll do. Sweet. Oh, good. It's dark. Right, let's turn on our torch, and a load of the planks have gone. There was loads of planks stacked up here, and they've all gone. And we've got loads of these, which are all not for sale. Okay. That's weird. There was literally a load of small planks there. But whatever. It's done. Who cares? Not this grim. Not this grim. He just ready to move on. Ready to move on. So yeah, there was a woman who used to live in a house, and so I was on rollerblades, and I always used to pop in, and she was quite lonely, bless her. Yeah, I don't know. I suppose you still see it now. I suppose it was like it'd be like my nana. But I used to pop in and see her, and she'd say, "Do you want a cup of tea?" And I'd have a cup of tea or coffee with her, or some juice or something like that. And she'd make me some juice, and I'd just stay and talk to her for 20 minutes every day. And she'd quite often give me like money and stuff like that, and I was like, "No, I won't take it." And she was so lovely, bless her. She won't be with us anymore. Oh, there was loads more here. Oh well. She was so lovely, bless her. Mrs. White, she was called. And yeah, she had old grey hair, you know, and her son lived away, and he had a family and stuff, so he couldn't visit her as much. And you know, I get it completely. You know, that's life, that's families. But yeah, I used to just sit and talk to her, and she used to give me at Christmas. She'd give me like 20 quid, and I'm like, you can't do this. And she was like, absolutely not. And I remember John Prescott coming out once and giving me a £5. And I was like, oh mate, I appreciate it, but you know, Mrs. White over here, she's not the Prime Minister of the country, and here she is, like, giving away her pension and stuff like this, because I stop and have a chat with her, and it wasn't expected at all. It was, you know, declined as much as I could. Sometimes I'd leave it on a kitchen side actually, because I wasn't in it for that. You know, I was just in it to just chat and hang out with her. You know what I mean? Yeah. I remember thinking when Prescott gave me this £5, I was like, yeah, all right, Deputy Prime Minister, but you're not as generous as this old lady who's got a pension. And hey man, £5 was £5. At the end of the day, back then it was a lot of money. That was nearly as much as my paper round. But at the same time, you know, most people could only afford to give like £2 at Christmas, because you always used to tip the paper lad. Yeah, it was just seen as the done thing. And yeah, bless him. Used to make a load of money. It was a bit like working in a bar when you tip a bar. I always tip at the bar if I can, especially at like Spiders, where I know that they're just on a basic wage, and you know, I want to help them out and say cheers. You know what I mean? So yeah, and I understand, man. When you work in jobs like that, it can be hard. So give them an extra tip, and I know that they all share them out and stuff like that. So I'm like, that's all cool. Here you go. Here's a quid or two. You know, I've only spent me £3 on a double dark rum and coke. 2.50, I think it is actually. So here's a couple of quid for you. Sweet. And so I used to do that, and going around on rollerblades was really good for a paper round, because the area I was actually delivering papers was one of the rougher areas in Hull, or it was going into the rougher area in Hull, and so your bikes would get nicked. You know, paper round lads who were doing them and leaving them outside at the gate, because you'd have to leave them at the gate to get in to drop off the papers. The bikes would get nicked. Rollerblades, you couldn't nick them, and actually you could whiz around. You didn't have to put a bike down every time. You could whiz here and there and get it done quite quickly, actually. So yeah, the problem was with like Prescott's driveway. He had like a gravel driveway, so it was always frustrating, because you'd have to like walk over it, and then it'd ruin your wheels, and your mum would get pissed off, and she'd be like, "You need to stop doing that." And I'm like, "Well, I can't. I need to deliver papers, ma'am. That's what I'll do." So yeah, I'm not buying you more wheels. Okay, all right, fine. Well, I'll just have to. I used to go around in these wheels that were absolutely demolished, man. I mean, seriously demolished. But you just used to, like, half a wheel falling off on one side, but they had 4 wheels, so you managed. Oh, life, eh? Oh, it's real funny just thinking about stuff like this. It's one of the things that I'm really enjoying about this YouTube page and this series, just being able to just chat about the past, man. It's just great. Anyway, so I had the paper round, and then she got real crappy with me, the woman in there. If I was ever late, she used to be so rude. I used to say, I'm sorry for whatever it was. And she used to say, so you should be. I hate people that say, so you should be. It's one of my biggest things. I hate it when people do that. Because how do you respond to that? You know, if someone's apologising to you, you say, cool, apology accepted, apology not accepted, whatever it is. So you should be. I hate it. It's one of my bugbears today. If someone said "so you should be" to me in my working life now, I would go ape at them. I would absolutely lose it. Like, how rude! It's become a thing. She made it a thing. She's probably not alive anymore, actually. There we go. She was old at the time. There was 2 people that owned a paper shop in a little village called Sutton. I don't know if people get papers delivered anymore. I don't know if it's like a thing that's gone by the wayside or not, to be honest with you. Probably has. Oh well. Yeah, her husband was there as well. But they could both be very abrasive. They'd like expect you to spend your earnings in the store and stuff like that. If you used one of the other stores, they'd be really annoyed. And it's like, you know, with respect, I've earned this £5, right? And I'll spend it how I want. And that's what I used to get. I used to get, I think it was 5p of paper we used to get, which was, you know, enough. So I used to deliver about 50 plus papers a day, every day after school. I could never do the morning shift because we used to do so many different things in the morning, except a Sunday. I did the Sunday because it was paid higher. And John Prescott, when I used to deliver his papers, I think he's dead now. Yes, he is. He had his funeral in Hull the other year, last year, I think. He used to have 9 papers delivered. Obviously, he was the Deputy Prime Minister. So he used to have the sort of all the national papers, including the Times, and the Times was a hell of a paper. I used to go out on my blades with 1 paper bag just for John Prescott's house. And you had like to buzz into a buzzer to get in and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. And then I did my work experience, and because my mum was working with the council, nepotism. I suppose you could call it nepotism, but I certainly proved myself. We could do that job. We'd get rid of a load of beams though. We just got a load of beams. Quality though. Yeah, we'll do it. Screw it. We just need to give them extra beams. We need to find the small round ceiling lights, so let's do it. Let's get a large capacity out and get this one boshed out. Nice. Bish. Bash. Bosh. I've realised I'm not saying that as much as I used to, and I feel bad for it. I'm sorry. The bish bash bosh is making a return. I've been saying bosh 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 for a lot recently. Mate, I just say whatever comes into my head. You know. I do have these like times, I think everyone does, where they say like a certain thing a lot. Sweet is one that I'll say occasionally a lot. You know, stuff like that. Someone pointed out to me, You say sweet way too much. I can't watch it because it's doing my head in now. Okay, cool. Enjoy whatever you watch. Miss you. Yeah. Like, I didn't really get it because I'm like, okay, cool, that's feedback, but like, your feedback is you're watching an old video that I'm not going to be able to respond to, and I promise you now, I'm going to say lots of things in these series that you're not going to like. So thanks for joining me. Sorry you can't see past that. I'll see you later. Thanks for the feedback. You know. Anyway. So my mum, I was doing work experience, and I was always a theatre kid. I was always into acting. I used to do a lot of amateur dramatics when I was younger and that sort of stuff. And I was pretty good, actually, as in a small town. I was pretty good, and won a lot of awards at like the Hornsey Speech and Drama Festival and stuff like that. I was going around performing certain things. I went to Germany once to perform in a play in Germany. I was an actor. I was an aspiring actor, right? Which will come later on in the story, I guess. And here we go. Bosh, sweet. And small round ceiling lights. Let's find the two of them that we have got. Let's at least give them what we can. Big round, small spherical light, but small round is what we're looking for. Big, small. Okay, let's have a look at the other. Is there any lights on there? Nope. Is there any lights on here? Just get rid of that for a second. Big round. Big round. Big round. Although they're not round, are they? They're big round. We've got a lot of big rounds, man, all over the place. We could actually have a shelf of... this will be it, I bet. Big spherical ceiling light, no. A small round spherical light. Is that you? There we go. We found the one it looks like. So I'm just going to stick this here in case I need to remind myself. Let's go find the other one. So my mum got me a work experience at the box office at the Hull City Hall, which is like the local thing. It wasn't just me, mum. There was offering it to people at the time. We do less of it these days, actually. I don't know why. I think it is quite a lot of work whenever I've done work experience for people. But anyway, we were supposed to do a week's worth as part of the school's requirement. And because it was happening during the half term, I said, well, it'd be great to do 2 weeks. So I went and did 2 weeks instead of the 1 week. And they were very impressed with me. I worked in the box office, and I had a great experience. I worked with a man called Peter, who's no longer with us, unfortunately. He was a good bloke. He was camp as anything, and proper flirty as I got older. But it was all fine, man. He was a good person. He never stood out of line, but he used to say some funny things, man. He used to say some really funny things, which as a kid, he was just like, can we really say that? And he's like, yeah, we can say that. It's a bit rude, but I don't care. He once I sneezed once, and he said, you know what that is, don't you? And I'm like, what? And he was like, it's all the JJ dust that's in here. It's like, what? And he's like, it's all the old women that work in the office. And I was like, what? Oh man, he died on the train going home from work, actually. It was not long before he was due to retire, which is really sad because goodness gracious, he'd worked so hard and he'd built up a load of money to invest in a theatre. He really wanted to invest in a theatre in a local community and make it. He was a good person, man. And he had a really weird relationship actually with well, it's not weird by these standards, but he had his partner, and he had someone that joined them with one arm who left his wife because he decided that he was gay, and he ended up living with him. And my word, the stories he used to tell of swapping and changing partners. Like, I was like this small kid who was like, what? What is this? What is this world? And yeah, sweet. Do let's go. You probably can't say stuff like that these days, but whatever, whatever. End the order. Let's go. Send the invoice, and good job. Great, sweet. Load of extra money, banging. It's hard to find them lights, wasn't it? Very hard. There we go. Right, cool. That's the job's done, I think. So let's get a new contract. Let's complete the contract, in fact. Let's complete this contract that we've got and go there. And it's a load of money, man. It's a load of money. Unfortunately, we destroyed the washing machine. How is that going to impact us? We're going to find out. Send the invoice. 75%. Great job. Just didn't like the fact that we trashed something that they didn't want us to trash. Is what it is. Right, we're going to do a proper demolish. Take a destroy. 3 walls. You know what? I'm feeling this one. It's a lot of retrieves. Oh, it's 5. I can't do it. Damn it. You know what? We're going to smash this up as quick as we can. Retrieve a bed and that. And then we can smash everything else up. Let's accept that. Let's go. Let's get a couple of boxes because we'll put some of it away. Do we need anything else in particular? Maybe the doors, maybe the windows, something like that. But we're going to get a lot of bags of rubble here. We're going to do a demolish house. A quick job. And maybe take 5. I don't think we'll need 6 because it's not a huge house. But maybe we will. We'll see. Let's go. Hopefully it's wood and not brick. But we'll see. We don't even really need beams. Yeah, I mean, we could get beams if we wanted to. Right, let's first of all... Oh, man, I feel like we've been here a long-ass time ago. That is freaking gross. Okay, cool. So, I did the work experience, and I worked in multiple departments, actually. I worked in marketing, I worked in... which is very different to what it was now. Retrieve the bed and the display cabinet. Is that a prestige... Oh, my word. You really want this? Can we at least throw the mattress for you? Please. Because it is gross. Right, it's under here. Okay. Is it just under this side? Yeah, okay. This headboard is attached. There we go. Sick. And go under this way. Sick. I can't see the bloody thing. Oh, I can't. Why am I struggling with the camera so much for this? Is it because it's so big? I think it is. Right, sweet. Oh, there's more screws on each of this side. Okay, cool. Get the light on, shall we? I should turn the lights on. You do tell me all the time. Well, not all the time, but you have told me in the past. Just turn the bloody lights on in the place before you smash them all out. And I'm like, yeah, I should do that more. There we go, Bosch. Oh my, come on now. So I did my work experience for him, and they said to me afterwards, he wrote a report, and he wrote a really nice report, and it said, the biggest compliment that I can give to Anthony is that I want him to work for my team as soon as he turns 16. And he wrote his number on my report card, which went back to my school. And he was true to his word. I turned 16. I gave him a call, and he was like, "Yep, we'll get you on the books." And so I got a job straight away when I was still at school. So I was working in the box office in a theatre. In a beautiful theatre, in a theatre in City Hall, and started to learn how to talk to customers and how to deal with customers and how to deal with sort of finance and invoices and all that sort of stuff. I was still through college. I was learning acting, but I was still working there. The job at that point came with loads of perks. Man, you used to go see shows for free, or for a very, very low price. You know, like a $5. These incredible shows that, I mean, we can't do that these days. It just doesn't happen. But back then it was, and it was amazing, man. It was a really incredible experience. And then when I was finished college, the girl I was with at the time, I was engaged to, and she was planning on going to drama school. And I said, "That's cool." I said, "I'll wait for you." So I said, "We'll wait a year or something like that, and we'll go together." And we broke up before that happened. And my mum and dad, I think they still think that, like, I would have achieved more as an actor if I'd gone right then. I actually think I was too young right then. I think when I did go, I went with a bit of experience. But basically, I was waiting for her. So I was like, right, we aren't getting rid of these pendant lights, you know, or ceiling fans, if I'm honest with you. Toilet, we'll have it. It's for you, Surface. Let's go. So wrong way. I've got to take something else out, haven't I? Let's take something else out before we start demolishing it. What else do you want? Display cabinet. Where's the display cabinet? Is it this thing? No. Is it this thing? Yes, it is. Okay, cool. There's now in it, so we don't have to worry about it. Sweet. Let's dismantle it. Sweet. So, so I was kind of waiting for her. I was living with her in a flat at the time because me and my folks, like, we was arguing a lot. I was wanting my own independence. They didn't agree with the person I was with, etc., etc. It just wasn't working out, man. And the girl I was with was going through a really rough time with her folks, and so she ended up in a youth hostel, and so I was like, right, we need to get you out of there. And I was like, I was having a tough time arguing with my folks, and so at like 16, 17, I moved into 17, I think I was. I moved into my own place the first time, you know, and made a little bit of money doing what I did, and I think benefits helped us out at certain times. But to be honest, I was working. I was getting paid from the box office work, so I was paying for a lot of it. And back then, I mean, your rent was like, you know, 200 quid a month, if that. It was less than that, actually. It was like 170. I mean, money was all different back then anyway. But it wasn't too hard to achieve. I was able to achieve it and was able to live and able to get back and forth from college, which is what we needed to do, really. And I think so I must have been 17 because I was just about to finish college, I think, when we moved in. I was there for a couple of years, actually. And yeah, why am I taking this off? I didn't even want this. We said no to this. We'll take the premium one. Not that we've seen a lot of ceiling fans, but when we do shoot a thing for ceiling fans, we're going to get a lot, aren't we? Do I want this? Yeah, I've just started, so I'll finish. I should just be smashing this place up. Smashy, smashy. Let's go. And so I was continuing to work there, and then when I finished college, I knew I needed to get like a full-time job. And I went to the jobs fair at the place I was working, basically. And I met one of the duty managers, a guy who no longer works with us. Good man. I won't say the names because it's not fair. And he said, "What are you doing here? Are you working?" And I went, "No, I'm looking for a job." He was like, "What do you mean you're looking for a job?" I was like, "Well, I've finished college and I need some more work. And you know, the work in the box office is good, but it's not kind of covering everything I need it to." And he was like, "Well, why don't you work backstage?" I was like, "Well, I can." He was like, "Yeah, we've got and he introduced me to the stage manager at the time. And I said, "Hey up." He says, "Hey up, I've seen you around. Do you want to work?" And I went, "Well, yeah, sure." And he was like, "Well, can you start this afternoon?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." So basically, went there and ended up in the afternoon after the jobs fair, working, taking out a load of chairs, doing sort of venue stage work, which is more. It's not really like. At that place, it was more. You was almost in charge of setting up the venue more than anything back then. They didn't really do a lot of tech work back then at that venue in particular. It was more setting up the venues, putting out chairs for whatever show it was, taking out chairs. You know, and I'd just be there to assist really. And so did that for a few years, and it was all good. Common, rare, whatever. You know what? It's time, baby. It's time. I'm just gonna smash it all down. Oh, it's bricks. Ah. Do I want some bricks? No, I just want to smash it all down. It's not two-story. I just want to smash it all down. I'm feeling a smashy job. We're doing a smashy job. Let's go. So let's make an absolute mess of this place, shall we? Nice. Are you any good? Rare. We don't see enough fridges. I just brought something inside it. We can take the chairs. We always need chairs. Sweet. Bosh. Oh, I'm taking the fridge. We need a job where we get a fridge order and we just give them a load of fridges though, because we've got so many. Sweet. We took the toilet, I suppose. Lovely. And so yeah, started working that day there, and then was doing it for years actually. So we used to do stage work, but we also used to do front of house work. So when the shows were on, instead of instead of sending you home saying, you know, it's sorted, you'd work front of house basically, and you'd end up taking tickets off the guests. It was a real good job, and actually the boss at the time was incredible. I mean, he's a good bloke. I'm still friends with him. He looked after me a lot over the years, you know. And when you've got like a working relationship where you can all have a laugh with each other, and you go to work, and it doesn't actually really feel like work because you're just there having a good time, you know. And they were really sort of understanding as well, like not in a sort in a banter way, you know. If you mess something up, you take the piss out of each other, you know, and everything, like, it completely breaks the ice on everything. Do you know what I mean? Like there's no telling off and stuff. You just get on with it and get it done and have a laugh and have a joke. And so I was doing that, and at the same time as doing that, there was a bloke who I wish I had contacts with still. I really do, because he was a good friend at the time. He used to play a game called Go, which is an old martial art in Japan. He was a very intelligent bloke. He went to university, which at the time was like very intelligent. And but he had a tough time. But he was working on the tech side. So while I was just a casual and I was called in for shifts whenever and however, he was full time, and he used to work on the tech, and he'd show me bits, and I was like, yeah, I'm happy to learn. And then I started to do stuff like follow spots. So a follow spot is where you follow an artist with a light on the during the show. And they were desperate for one show. They didn't have anyone come in. Someone let them down or whatever, and they're like, will you do it? And I was like, I can give it a go, and did it and learned. And then this guy Mike, a lovely guy, he ended up like I'd ask him about the lighting desk, and he was like, yeah, this is how it goes. And I mean, this is very basic days. This is where the venue didn't have any moving fixtures or anything like that. It was all they're called generics, so they're just like light, and what I was talking about in the other episode where you put gels in and stuff like that. It was all lights like that, you know. LEDs were a thing back in these days, 20 years ago. Not in little venues like this. We'd see some more professional lights come through with the bigger shows, but a venue like that that's got 1,000 capacity, like, it's not just getting big shows. It gets a lot of tribute acts and stuff like that, and they don't have the money and budget to have like big rigs, if you like, that the sort of bigger companies do. Not that we wasn't doing bigger companies as well. I worked with a lot of artists, man. Like, what's an example? Artists like Sugar Babes and stuff like that, who were a big deal in the UK at the time. We'd do setups for them, and we'd have the ins and outs, and it was good money, and it was a good laugh. It was a really good time, a good time in my life, and because I showed the sort of initiative to learn, like, they were willing to sort of teach me, and yeah, that'd be my biggest, like, this isn't like a career motivational thing. And I'd love to hear about your jobs, I really would. But that was like, yeah, that's how I became. And then Mike left. He was not happy for various reasons, and that I probably later become unhappy with. But I'm not talking about that, because I don't need to. I'm not going to drag anyone down and stuff like that. It's not fair, and I'm still working the place. But he wasn't happy, and so he left, and I believe he was working in Wolverhampton at one point. I know he was in Sheffield, because I went to see him in Sheffield for a bit. But yeah, good bloke. Miss him a lot. I owe a lot to him, actually. And then after he went, I went and tried to go into his role, basically. I was like, well, if I can get full-time hours instead of the casual, because casual, you'd earn a lot of money, you'd work for it, you know? Because we used to work till, like, you work until whatever time you finish in the morning, you know? Whatever needs to get done. Ultimately, when the shows are on, you sit back, you go as an audience member, you watch a show. You don't see the fact that it's taken sort of the day to set up, and straight afterwards as well. We didn't have two different crews. You'd go there and you'd set up for the next show on the same night, you know. Man, there was times when I used to do, like, I've done 30-hour shifts before, you know, genuinely, and that one in specifically was because of the floods in 2007. So I was by this point I was the deputy chief technician. I'd learnt my way around the lighting board, and I got that job, and yeah, I was enjoying it, man. It gave me sort of creativity. I was still doing bits of the acting and stuff like that, but it gave me an outlet to be creative, and I was really starting to enjoy it, like create, because I like bands anyway. I like music, so to be able to create atmosphere for a show, especially when shows used to come in and say, just do what you want. And I'd be like, great, I'm going to make it, you've said that, I'm going to make it look as good as I can for you. Normally, when they come in and they were a lot sort of more stricter about what the lighting would look like and stuff like that, it wouldn't look as good because you wouldn't get the sort of creativity. And ultimately, I started to learn the rig. And then I taught myself, we started to buy moving lights, and you know, back then we weren't really going on courses to learn stuff like this. Nowadays, you go to college to learn this, you know. Back then, I got the manual out and I figured it out. And then I figured out how to implement it, how to implement moving lights into a design, you know. And so I was blessed, really, because I was in an era where we were basically going from turning a light on and off. It might have a colour on it, but turning a light on and off and programming that one light in, to then using simple moving fixtures, to then using more. And like I say, man, college courses exist for what I did and taught myself now. And the reason I was able to do that was because the times were very different, and I sort of come at a really good point of evolution, you know. And I'm sure it'll pass me by in the next few years because I'm not doing it anymore. I'm now the programmer at the venue. But when 2008, I was no longer happy with a few of the circumstances at work. I thought there were certain people that were taking the mick and getting away with it, and I thought, you know what, I'm not going to be used anymore. I'm going to pursue my dream of being an actor. So, as someone with a bloody good wage, I mean, I was doing a lot of overtime back then. A bloody good wage. I was young, so you could still do it. I mean, Jesus Christ, we used to have a TV in the crew room, so it didn't really matter. You'd be at work sometimes, as long as the jobs were done at that time. The management didn't care. As long as the jobs were happening and the shows were getting on, the management did not mind. And that come to the overtime and the infringements, because we used to infringe all the time. So because you used to have a 11-hour rule, where you have to have 11 hours break, when you didn't, which we did all the time, they used to pay you for the hours that you'd missed of your break, and so that's on top of your wage. And then they used to give you loo time, so time to take off at another time. You know, I mean, it was incredible, really. Crazy. God, I wish I'd bought a house then and like saved up, and God, I'd be in a much better position in life if I'd been a bit wiser. But you know, Grim, he was out getting drunk and having a good time and causing chaos. But you know, living ultimately and developing who I am as well. So I'm not complaining. But yeah, I got annoyed, and I was like, you know what? I'm not going to sit here and just be angry at certain circumstances. I'm going to go and try and do what I always dreamed of being. Tried to be an actor. And I went to university in 2008, and I was still doing casual work. Like, I'd go back, and at Christmas I'd either work on tech or I'd work on front of house, and I was still absolutely doing all of that, and you know, still earning, still having a good time with my friends ultimately, because it felt like work was a good time. You know, a lot of the time it was hard work. But 2007 we had the floods. Hull suffered with some devastating floods. They really bad. There was actually a person that passed away in it. But there was we'd gone into work that day there we go, sweet. We'd gone into work that day thinking it was a normal day, and it was just raining. And we get the thing come through that we was going to be emergency evacuation centre. And we're like, okay, why? And I think there was political reasons about why the floods happened. I don't think some stuff was maintained as well as it was. I don't know if that's like truthful or not, or just rumours. I haven't looked into it enough. Point was, I'd gone into work that day thinking I was working a show that night, and I wasn't. Suddenly the venue was going to be the emergency evacuation centre for people that had been flooded. And so we're ripping out all the chairs, and we're getting ready to welcome all these people in. We had beds delivered by the army, and it was all just dropped off, and it's like, figure them out, go get them up, and you did, And then the night happened, and I was on the back desk a lot of the night, to be honest with you, letting the people in, and there was no one security. I mean, that night we was down, man. We had 7 people in the venue on the staff side, and not even that actually. Hang on, 1, 2, 3, maybe 5. Maybe there was 5 of us. There was a couple that had come into work, and the houses had started flooding, so they had to get home to secure the houses, and stuff like that. Thankfully, I was still living at home, so I didn't need to worry about that. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, they had to go and secure the houses, and man, we was letting in people who a lot of were from care homes, because a lot of people that had flooded houses would go to a family member and stuff like that. The care homes, man, they didn't have anyone, so we had about 100 people come in that night, and didn't really have a lot of bigger support, because it happened so quickly. But we had like Asda orders come in, and stuff like that. They were like donating food and tea and stuff like that, and I think we might have had a catering person on. I can't remember, but we'd make sure that people had a cup of tea. Do you know what I mean? Because they were devastated. I mean, people were coming in, and they'd lost part of the home. They'd lost. I remember a woman crying on me, bless her, and she was devastated because she'd lost her husband, and she'd lost all the photos of her husband. And sometimes you just gotta step back and listen, and just and try and support them and say, you're out there now, and well, here's a cup of tea, and it's awful, voice out what you need to voice out. Basically, it's devastating. And actually, the days after, it all got a lot more organised from the sort of council side of things, but we never had a rush like we had that first night. And I remember 2 of the lads, we'd gone to help someone out of the bus that they'd arrived on from the care home, and he had no legs, so he's there in the and we didn't have a wheelchair and stuff for him, so it's like, right, go and grab him out. He was a bigger bloke as well. And the 2 lads went and grabbed him. He was so lovely, and he was so mild mannered and well spoken. Excuse me, they're trying to lift him up, and they can't lift him up. And excuse me, lads, excuse me. He says what? He says, my seatbelt's still on. And we just take the mick out of each other for stuff like that, and just have a good time with it, because you've got to, you've got to. And he was good about it, he found it hilarious as well. But we had a parrot staying there and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't feel like the team really got the we got a badge saying what was it, star performer. Let me tell you, there was 7 people that night that worked their asses off to make people comfortable in a really difficult time, Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So, and then what else was there? So yeah, I was working with bands, and then, like I say, I went to acting, and then to sort of speed through it. Really, I don't know how much you want me to talk about sort of lighting and stuff like that. I'm happy to sort of go into that more in depth. But it was my life for a while, but I understand it might be a bit boring as well. Didn't really work out the acting. I think I was dyslexic. I still think I'm dyslexic. I'm pretty certain I'm dyslexic from the emails, all right. And I struggled with keeping lines in all of a sudden, and when you're struggling with that, you can't actually act because that's like the first part of it, and everything else goes on top of it, and it become really hard. I was doing a bit of it in Nottingham with a great company who looked after me. Actually, I was working with kids, delivering an arts award in a place called Corby. I mean, these were tough kids. These were kids who had been through some stuff, you know. Stuff that, like, you know, there was sort of they needed help really, and we'd go in there and put on a play with them because that's the way to solve them out. But actually, it wasn't like that. It wasn't as sort of goofy as it sounds. We were just there to support the kids and give them something to do, and you know, it was. I once got threatened by one of them with a knife. And not, you know, and I'm like, look, dude, like, you know, you can stab me, but I'm only asking you to, like, help me out here and do your work and, you know, stuff like that. Times, but I'm gonna have to take that knife off, you know. Yeah, good times. Only one good times, but you know, god damn, it feels worthwhile. I tell you, when you're doing stuff like that and you're working with kids and you see them shine and see you can work with people and you can say, I see you, and no one else might. You might sometimes feel that no one else can see you, but I see you right now, and I respect you and I give you my time. Do you know what I mean? Like, really important that they don't get, cause, well, they do now more. I don't know how it works now. I just know at the time, I don't think enough people saw people for what they were, which is actually creative, you know, and they were actually, you know, just beat down by society's expectation of them, and if you don't give them a chance, man, that's when we start having problems, you know. Yeah. You know, they've got to learn right and wrong. They've got to make mistakes. They've got to figure it out, you know. And so did a bit of that, and did a bit of acting in Nottingham. Did a transmedia narrative project that is somewhere on YouTube, hidden away. It's a bit messy though. I don't even want to share it. And yeah, there was yeah, good times. Really good times, but I was struggling to make a living on it, if I'm honest with you. I was struggling to pay the rent. I remember my old work colleagues, they used to say they were skint, and I'm like, mate, you don't know what skint is. I'm like, do you pay for Sky? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, you don't know what skint is. I mean, I'm struggling right now financially. It's fine. It's just part of living by myself in this economy, you know. But and I do blame the economy for that, actually, to get sort of a little bit political. I think it's a bloody mess, and I you know, I don't blame anyone. I blame the last 20 years of mess, man. Absolute mess. Anyway, let's not make this too political. I remember saying to my work colleague, I said, you're not skint. And he was like, why? And I says, I was living in Nottingham and I had a networking thing. So I went out with a director or something like that. And so went out and spent the last 6 quid I had, 5 quid I had on a beer for me and him, because it was important that happened and that networking happened and all that sort of stuff. And it was a potential opportunity. So I spent the last amount of money that I had on that. And for the next 5 days, I didn't get paid. And so I could only eat what I had in. And I had pasta and I had tomato sauce. And I ate pasta with tomato sauce. No, I think I had a bit of cheese, and after the first day, that was gone. Ooh, rare fridges. Okay, sweet. Yeah, let's get rid of these. Excellent. And one common door. What a shame. Right, rare fridges. Excellent. Oh, they're all common. Right, the rare ones have got the silver backing. Okay. Sweet. One there. One there. Nice. And did it say I had 3? Fridge premium. There's a lot of common fridges. Yeah, I don't really want to get rid of too many. All these ovens. We just need an oven job. We just need an oven job. Let's go. One common door. Sweet. I said I ate pasta for 5 days with tomato sauce. And I was like, that tomato sauce didn't last. For 3 days of that 5 days, I was eating pasta bites, or 2 days and then 5 days. It was boil pasta, eat the pasta, and that was you. That was what you had to do to survive, man. You know. And we all manage. We all manage anyway. You know. I mean, we figure out a way, don't we? But yeah, it was hard. It was really hard. Let's set that order. That's a good one. Again, loads of good orders. How much have we got? Nearly 10 grand. Oh, that's good, because I wonder if... Yeah, I've got 10 grand. I do wonder how much the upgrade's going to cost us. I do feel like it's going to be 10 grand. I don't know why. I just have a feeling it's going to be 10 grand. Might be wrong. Might have a load of money so we can get a truck earlier. Do a few jobs with that. Sweet. So yeah, I was struggling. I was a struggling actor. And I decided to... Sorry, I don't know why I'm telling you about me. I'm just... yeah, I don't often talk about this. Well, I've never really talked about it properly like this. I just figure, why not, instead of talking about TV or whatever it was going to be today? Talk about something different for a change. Armchair premium. There we go. Bosch. Lovely. Sweet, and get that in there and close and done. Sweet. We've got a couple of extra windows in there, so that's fine. 1 premium door. Will do. Sweet. Complete the order. Nice. Thank you very much. Leave 4.9. Still 10 jobs didn't go to plan in this playthrough. I wonder how much they'll add to this game. I really do. I mean, they've added the extra through. It doesn't feel like it was game changing though, I'd say. It's fun. It's fine. But it's not like... What's a... I don't know what's game changing. Maybe new jobs? Maybe that'll bring me back? I don't know. I don't know. Weird, isn't it? Because the series is like nearly coming to an end, guys. That's pretty sad. Let's go. But at the same time, I've had a great time playing it. I'm grateful to all of you for hanging out with me. Do appreciate it a lot. Sweet. Bosch. Doom. Let's go. It's real weird when you come to an end of a series. When you've put as much sort of time and work in and stuff. It's a really scary time as well, actually, because I'm always like, you know, I always want to keep creating and uploading videos, and I will, I absolutely will. But you never know if the next one's going to hit it off or not. You know, I've got the Leaf Blower series as the sort of... Because I wanted something very similar to this game for you guys, because you've, you know, put so much time into watching these videos. Like, let's do something similar where we can talk. You know, you can write comments and I can read them, because that's one of the things that's been sort of a bit more unique to this series actually, and I've loved that. I love getting to know you all a little bit, you know. Community, man, community. So I got the job as the chief technician when that came up. That's at the same place I was working when I first started my work experience. And I'm still there now. I worked that for 10 years as a chief technician. And saw many companies come and go through the venue. Lots of good times. After my sort of knee operations and stuff like that I talked about, I had to make a decision. And I saw the older people that were there. And, you know, the people that I've got huge respect for, that have been doing it for years, and how sort of in pain they were and how bitter they were about the same things. I was like, you know what, I need to get out of this, man. And so I went for a job in programming. It came available, and I was like, you know what, I've worked the shows for so many years, right? I've seen so many of these shows. I kind of know what's good, what's bad. I know what I like, but it's not even about what I like. I know what an audience like. I'd like to think. I think I do. So I was like, you know what? I'll go do programming. and it was a bit. I had to do it a bit sort of quietly, really, because I did go for a job as a train driver. Actually, I went for it, but it's a really hard interview to pass, and I got through to the second stage, but I didn't get the job. I was like, you know what? If I do train driving, it's a really well-paid job. I can learn it, you know. You can do anything, man. We can all do anything if we just set our mind to it, you know. I had some really lucky opportunities, and I worked with some wonderful people. But it was always my attitude of, let's give it a go, that was actually what paid off, you know. So, yeah, let's give it a go. Is the final thing on this one. Send the invoice, and what did I not do? Hang on. What did I not do? Oh, I can't go back. Oh, you guys can go back. Oh, I've missed something. Did I do the job? I feel like I did the job. I didn't break anything I shouldn't have done. Did I not clean up something? Oh dear. Oh well. Oh well. Sorry, I've been distracted by talking rubbish. Well, we've got one more job to do until we reach tier 5. We've got 10 grand in the bank, which I suspect this is going to be. But we'll see. And then the only other thing we've got is to upgrade that, but we don't really need to. And get a big van. If we want a big van, we can absolutely do that. Which is in here. I don't think they've added any more vans, have they? We'll sell the small one. Sweet. And is it still a big van for 10 grand? Yeah. Oh, 15. Okay. Oh, well, that's going to take forever. Oh, this one was 10 grand. Okay, cool. Fine. Well, we can do that if we want to do that. Well, we will do it because we'll complete the game. And it'll give us a chance to do some tier 5 contracts. But I hope you've enjoyed a different type of chat today. A little bit of chat. Let you all into a little bit of my life. If you've got any questions, let me know. Let me know if work's been good to you. Work has been good to me. And I work with some incredible people right now. Some inspirational people. Actually, this was between us. I actually voted for my boss to be given a award, which she'll probably kill me for when she finds out. But I was like, you're a really empathetic human being who's been great for me, but great for the people around you. And I think it'd be really cool if people acknowledge that. And I don't know if you want that acknowledgement or not. You might be embarrassed by it. It might not be you, but I think people should know about that. Yeah. One of the things at work, and I'll leave on this, one of the things at work that was always really important to me when I was the leader, when I was the chief electrician, and I had a lot of people working for me, and I was working with companies and all that sort of stuff. The one thing I always made sure I did at the end of every day when we was leaving was say thank you to each of the people that helped do what we needed to do to get that down, because without them it wouldn't have been done. And I think it's so important to just say thank you, well done, recognize people for the work they do. We'll leave it on that. I want to say a huge thank you to the people that are helping support me on this journey. Our members. You can absolutely become a member if you want to. It's absolutely not required. But if you can spare a couple of quid, you want to become a member and help me keep my heating on this week, you can. Just there. Thank you, Kitty and Jim Paul. Our first 2 reapers, with many more to follow, I'm sure. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it. Give me lots of comments to talk about, baby. Ta-ra.